How do you say happy in Spanish? Feliz. How do you say love in Spanish? Amor. How do you say bathroom in Spanish? Baño. How do you say beautiful in Spanish? Bonito. How do you say beer in Spanish? Cerveza. How do you say friend in Spanish? Amigo. How do you say family in Spanish? Familia. How do you say food in Spanish? Comida. How do you say thank you in Spanish? Gracias. How do you say hello in Spanish? Hola. How do you say tree in Spanish? Árbol. How do you say city in Spanish? Ciudad. How do you say country in Spanish? País. How do you say window in Spanish? Ventana. How do you say river in Spanish? Río. How do you say shirt in Spanish? Camisa. How do you say chair in Spanish? Silla. How do you say pen in Spanish? Bolígrafo. How do you say inside in Spanish? Dentro. What is the word in Spanish for outside? Afuera. What is the word in Spanish for who? ¿Quién? What is the word in Spanish for what? ¿Qué? What is the word in Spanish for where? ¿Dónde? What is the word in Spanish for when? ¿Cuándo? What is the word in Spanish for how? ¿Cómo? What is the word in Spanish for why? ¿Por qué? What is the word in Spanish for excuse me? Disculpe. What is the word in Spanish for there? Allí. How do you say today in Spanish? Hoy. What is tomorrow in Spanish? Mañana. How do you say yesterday in Spanish? Ayer. What is the word for now in Spanish? Ahora. What is the word in Spanish for someone? Alguien. What is the word in Spanish for no one? Nadie. What is the word in Spanish for sometimes? A veces. What is the word in Spanish for always? Siempre. What is the word in Spanish for never? Nunca. What is the word in Spanish for every day? Todos los días. How do you say, like this, in Spanish? Así. What is the word for still in Spanish? Aún. How do you say people in Spanish? La gente. What is the word for we in Spanish? Nosotros. How do you say again in Spanish? Otra vez. What is the word for later in Spanish? Más tarde. How do you say thing in Spanish? Cosa. What is the word for tonight in Spanish? Esta noche. How do you say arrivals in Spanish? Llegadas. What is departures called in Spanish? Salidas. How do you say flight attendant in Spanish? La azafata. What word means passenger in Spanish? El pasajero. How do you say plane in Spanish? El avión. How do you say runway in Spanish? La pista. How do you say aisle in Spanish? El pasillo.
Finally, the last test. What is the word for church?
Iglesia. Inglés. Ingresar.
What is the word for horse?
Cebolla. Caballo. Caballero.
What is the word for quarter?
¿Cuánto? Cuatro. Cuarto.
What is the word for hunger?
Hombre. Hambre. Hombro.
What is the word for fear?
Mierda. Miedo. Moderno.